at the core of it, it's a scary film. And you can forget about all the explanations, and there was no battle sequences, which I know a lot of people were expecting. It just kept it simple. All the dinosaurs show up. I think the longest screen time any dinosaur had was T-Rex, essentially, and everything else was just and whatever the dinosaur was. I forget the name. The bird sequence. Like I thought that was really
I can never pronounce that one.
yeah,
It begins with Q, Quetzalosaurus, or something like that. But forgive me,
yeah,
dinosaur experts out there, because I cannot pronounce that one. Everyone, I've seen a lot of people, by the way, talking about that sequence, referring to it as a pterodactyl or pteranodon. That
yeah.
is it. That is incorrect. But yeah. Yeah, a couple of things. Sorry, just to backtrack on what I was saying about Gareth. When I interviewed him, he didn't actually realize he'd read the script, obviously, and then they shot the script and they shot that T Rex in the river sequence. He did not know that came from the Michael Crichton novel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he'd read the Crichton novel when he was about 17, obviously a long time ago, and in fact, I think he said he got to the final 10 pages of the book, and then the movie came out, like, back in 93. So he went straight to see the movie. And then he thought, well, it's all right, I'm seeing the movie. And then, of course, the ending is sort of slightly different anyway. But he'd forgotten about the river raft sequence, and it hadn't twigged in his mind when he read the script, and he shot it. And then, and this is a little bit embarrassing to admit, but they were editing Jurassic World Rebirth in London, him and his editor. They were on an insane schedule, as they have been across this entire movie. And one day they had to wait for something or other. So they had like half an hour off. So they went out, and he said, let's go to the comic book store in London. So I'm not sure which one they went to, but they went to a store. The editor saw, I'm pretty sure, and I think it might be right next to you on your pile of books there, on the top, the yellow one. Is it at the very top? No, the
This
other
one?
way. No, the other way. The yellow one there is no.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is that the script book?
Yep, it
Yeah,
is.
it is. Right. I think it's that one that he bought. The editor took
Yep.
it back, took it back to the office, and started flicking through it. And of course, that book has got storyboards from the dumped river raft sequence. And the editor looked at it and went, "Oh my God, there was supposed to be a river raft sequence in the original Jurassic Park, and none of them knew about it." And then Gareth was kind of like, well, I'm glad I didn't know, because I'd have been terrified to shoot that sequence knowing it had already been, looked over by Spielberg and considered by Spielberg once upon a time. But I actually think he did a terrific job. Obviously, that sequence in the ultimate film in Rebirth is different from what's in the book, because it's different characters for a start. But I will say, if I take one image away from Rebirth, not giving too much away, but with the yellow raft upside down on the little girl and the jaws of the T-Rex kind of almost bursting through, I thought that's just a beautiful moment in the film. One other thing I wanted to mention, just to touch back on John Matheson, as you brought him up, you mentioned shooting on film, which is completely correct. I'm not sure if you knew that they not only shot on film, but they shot on the original Panavision cameras,
Yes.
and using the original Panavision lenses that they shot Jurassic Park with. Again, just to kind of get that feel of Jurassic Park. It's obviously very subtle. I don't know how much anyone will pick that up, but there's so much thought gone into, let's try and remember what made Jurassic Park great, and let's try and recapture that feeling, which I think they really did in so many ways. It was just a real concerted effort to go, this is what made that original movie great. Let's try and get back to it. Maybe you're right. Maybe this would be a perfect place to end it, in a sort of circular moment. Be like, I don't want to give too much away about the ending, but I feel like it could end on a perfect. Jurassic movies nearly always end on a sunset, right? And that's a perfect way to end a franchise. We all know that Universal are going to go back and
Oh,
try.
yeah.
Well,
Uh,
unless this flops, and I don't think it's going to flop.
no, I don't think so. I think even if it starts off not so strong, and even the Rotten Tomatoes which I just saw before, talking to you was at 54%, and the
Yeah,
audience
I
was,
saw that figure or something like that figure. I was staggered that it, but that's what I
yeah.
said about the kind of reviews that have gone all over the place. And I'd put it much higher than that.
Oh
But
yeah. But the audience reviews, I think, was a 77 or 74. So I do think this film has that, it's gonna have legs because of the word of mouth, because it's scary and people like to be afraid. So I'll give you a little tidbit. So my wife, she's not into scary movies at all, right? She's seen the Jurassic films. I think she hasn't seen the last one or two, the Dominion and Fallen Kingdom. And I was gonna take my son, and I said, let's go all of us, like my daughter, my wife, my son, and myself. And she said, no, you guys go. You know, you and your son go. We will stay home. So then I finally convinced them, and they went. And she was literally, I have never seen her, like obviously like this. And there were, when something works out, like there's a suspense moment, and the characters follow through, like they escape. She was like this, right? And for an audience member to be engaged like that, who's not a Jurassic fan, I think that speaks a testament to the Gareth film, because I don't think it's just a dinosaur film. That's what I'm looking at. It's like it's a scary film. It's a thriller, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. And like you said, the word, like your heart was pounding, and that's what it is. I mean, we can reiterate ourselves in different ways, but hats off to Gareth. I was not go. I was hoping for it to be a great film. I won't lie. Last 4 or 5 days, when I started seeing the Rotten Tomatoes and the audience reaction, like, but then I was blown away.
okay, so let me ask you this. So in terms of like blockbusters that have come out this summer so far, I'm guessing you've seen them all. I
Most.
mean, like for example, F1. Now, I thought F1 was fantastically filmed. I saw it in the IMAX in Leicester Square in London. It looked gorgeous, but I thought the story was terrible and really corny. And so I marked it down on that for that basis. Whereas I did enjoy the Jurassic story. Yes, we've sort of seen this kind of thing before, but I thought it clips along well enough that I didn't question it too much. Whereas F1 I thought was so, despite the amazing visuals, I thought was so cheesy that I was like, oh no. Mission Impossible 8 kind of wrapped it all up, but again had its flaws. I don't know. So I would put it as the best blockbuster of this summer so far, which is pretty much what the reviewer at the Telegraph in the UK said. He said, well, if there's a better blockbuster this summer, I'll be surprised.